Everyone thinks they know who the strongest person in their life is. It's the friend everyone calls when their world is falling apart. The sibling who never says no. The coworker who always has it together. The parent who never lets you see them cry. They're calm when everyone else is panicking. They say, "Don't worry, I've got it." They carry the weight, fix the problem, hold the room together. And then, when the group chat goes quiet, when everyone's crisis is temporarily solved and the lights are off, that same strong person lies in bed staring at the ceiling, and feels completely alone. Script examples. Not because no one loves them. Not because no one needs them. But because no one really knows how heavy it is to be the strong one. Tonight, I want to talk to the people who hold everything together. The ones who are always okay. The ones who are used to hearing, "You're so strong, I don't know what I'd do without you." Because very often, they're the ones who don't know what to do with their own loneliness. And maybe that person is you. If you're still here, there's a good chance you're either the strong one in your story, or you love someone who is. Either way, I want you to stay with me, because once you understand the hidden loneliness of strong people, you'll never look at them the same way again. And you might finally see yourself more clearly too. I've been thinking about this a lot. We live in a world that celebrates strength. Emotional strength. Independence. Resilience. We applaud people who keep going no matter what. We admire the ones who never complain, who just get on with it. But there's something nobody talks about. Strength, when misunderstood, can become a cage. The strong person learns very early that their role is to hold, not be held. To listen, not be heard. To care, not be cared for. Over time, this becomes so normal that they don't even realize how alone they've become inside their own life. Think about the strongest person you know. Really picture them. They are often the ones sitting at the edge of the group photo, half smiling, more focused on whether everyone else is okay than whether they look happy. They're the ones saying, "Text me if you need anything," and actually meaning it. The one people forget to check on because they look fine. You see their stability. You trust their composure. You rely on their logic. What you don't see is the moment after everyone leaves their house, when the quiet suddenly feels too loud. When the strength that held everyone else together has nowhere to go. When the person who absorbs everyone's emotions has no safe place to put their own. This is the hidden loneliness of strong people. It doesn't show up as dramatic breakdowns or obvious cries for help. It shows up as a constant, low-level sense of being emotionally unmatched. Always being the one who understands, but rarely feeling understood. Always being the safe place, but rarely having one. For a lot of strong people, this story starts early. Some were the responsible child in a chaotic home. The one who learned to read their parents' moods before they could even read words. They learned that there wasn't much room for their own feelings, so they tucked them away. They became mature for their age, a phrase adults use when a child has been forced to grow up faster than they should have. Others were the older sibling who had to set an example. The one who helped with homework, calmed arguments, kept the peace. Crying wasn't useful. Needing too much wasn't allowed. So they built a habit, deal with it yourself. And some simply discovered that whenever they were vulnerable, people didn't know what to do with it. Maybe they were told you're overthinking or you're too sensitive. Maybe they opened up once and it was dismissed, minimized, or even mocked. The lesson was clear: vulnerability is costly, strength is rewarded. So they picked a side. They decided, often unconsciously, I will be the strong one. But here's the problem. When you become the strong one, you don't just support others. You slowly disappear inside your own role. People start to interact with the role, not the person. They say things like, "You're so independent," and think it's a compliment. They tell you, "You're tough, you don't need anyone," as if that's freedom rather than a sentence. They run to you with their problems, and because you're good at solving them, they forget that underneath your composure is a human being with limits. Strong people are lonely not because they're unwanted, but because they're unreciprocated. They get messages like, "I'm so glad I can always count on you," far more often than, You know you can count on me too, right? They hear, you always know what to say, more than they hear. Do you want to talk about how you're doing? They are trusted with everyone's darkness but rarely share their own. Over time, that does something to you. You begin to believe that your emotions are too heavy for other people. That your pain is something you must handle alone. That your needs are an inconvenience in a world where you are supposed to be the solution. So when someone asks, "Are you okay?" you answer on autopilot, "Yeah, don't worry. I'm fine." And most people accept that answer, because they want to believe it. They want you to be as unbreakable as you look, because your strength makes them feel safe. They don't see that "I'm fine" from a strong person often means, "I don't feel like I have permission to fall apart." One of the loneliest sentences in the world is, "Don't worry about me, I'll handle it." It sounds like confidence. It sounds like capability. But often, it's a soft way of saying, "I don't believe there's space for my pain here." If you're the strong one, you probably recognize this pattern. When someone you care about is hurting, you drop everything. You listen. You empathize. You give thoughtful advice. You stay calm so they don't have to be. You're good at it. So good that people start to see you as a kind of emotional shelter. But when you're the one struggling, you hesitate before reaching out. You stare at the message box and then lock your phone. You think, they're busy, or they already have enough going on, or compared to what they're dealing with, this is nothing. You talk yourself out of your own need for support. You're the first one there for everyone else, and the last one to ask anyone to be there for you. That's the quiet loneliness of strong people. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not obvious. It's just a slow habit of self-erasure. There's another layer. Strong people are often emotionally intelligent. They see patterns. They feel the room. They notice the slight change in someone's tone, the pause in a message, the story that doesn't quite match the expression. They're used to reading others deeply. But that same awareness makes it hard to trust fully. You notice when someone is listening but not really present. You feel when a person is waiting for their turn to speak. You sense when someone is uncomfortable with big emotions. So you adjust. You make yourself easier to handle. You cut out the deeper parts of what you were going to say and leave only the surface. People walk away thinking, "Wow, they're so stable." You walk away thinking, "I still haven't told anyone the truth." The truth that sometimes you are exhausted from being the one who can handle it. The truth that sometimes you wish someone would look you in the eye and say, "You don't have to be strong with me." The truth that sometimes you're not okay, and you're terrified that if you ever showed that, people would back away. Strong people carry a quiet fear that their value is tied to their strength. What if I stop being strong? What if I break down? Will people still want me around if I can't fix their problems? If I'm not the calm one, the wise one, the steady one, then who am I? So they keep performing strength, even in seasons when they desperately need to be held. It's not that they never cry. They just do it when no one is looking. In the shower. In the car. In the dark corner of a room when everyone else is asleep. Then they wipe their face, collect themselves, and step back into the role. The world says, "You're so strong." Inside, they think, "I'm just good at hiding." There's a cruel irony here. Strong people are often the ones who encourage others to be vulnerable. They say, "It's okay to talk to me, I won't judge you." And they mean it. They hold space beautifully. But when it comes to their own feelings, they live by a different rulebook. They think, "My job is to be the safe person, not the broken one." They become experts at asking others, "How are you really?" while answering that same question with, "Nah, I'm good, don't worry about it." You might be watching this and feeling something shift inside your chest. You might be realizing that you've been lonely, even while surrounded by people who love you. Not because they don't care, but because you've taught them that you don't need anything. Here's something that's hard to admit: strong people sometimes contribute to their own loneliness. Not because they want to. Not because they enjoy suffering. But because they keep sending the same message out to the world: "I'm okay. I've got it. I don't need help." People believe them. They stop asking. They stop offering. They assume you're always the giver, never the receiver. And in those rare moments when you hint that you might not be okay, you do it so gently that no one hears the alarm inside it. You say things like, "Yeah, it's been a bit rough, but it's fine." Then you quickly turn the conversation back to them. They walk away thinking, "They're doing all right." You walk away thinking, "I tried to say something and I still couldn't." If this is you, I want to tell you something you might not be used to hearing. You are allowed to be strong and still need someone. You are allowed to be capable and still feel overwhelmed. You are allowed to be the one who supports everyone and still say, "Today, I need support too." Needing help doesn't cancel your strength. It humanizes it. The strongest structures in the world still need foundations. The tallest trees still need roots. The most powerful hearts still need places to rest. Somewhere along the line, you were taught that strength means carrying everything alone. But that's not strength. That's survival. Real strength is being able to say, "I can carry a lot, but not all of it, not all the time, not alone." I know that's difficult. Especially if you've lived a life where being strong kept you safe. If no one was there for you when you were younger, it makes sense that you built this identity. It protected you. It got you here. But now that same protection might be keeping you from the very thing you deserve, genuine, mutual connection. So what does it look like, in real life, to be strong and not lonely? It doesn't mean opening up to everyone. Strong people are often selective for a reason. They've seen how badly vulnerability can be mishandled. They don't want to spill their soul to anyone who hasn't earned it. It might look like something small. Answering "How are you?" with a slightly more honest version. Instead of "I'm good," maybe "I'm managing, but it's been a heavy week." And then, letting the silence sit long enough for the other person to respond. It might look like sending one message to one person, "Hey, can I talk to you about something?" and not apologizing 3 times in the same sentence. It might look like allowing yourself to say the sentence you've avoided your entire life, "I'm tired of always being the strong one." There is a good chance that the first time you do this, it will feel wrong. Your body might react before your mind does. You might feel guilt, anxiety, even shame. You might want to take it back immediately. That's not proof you're doing something bad. That's proof you're doing something new. You've spent years teaching your nervous system that your feelings are dangerous, that your needs are secondary, that your value comes from how much you can carry. Of course it feels uncomfortable to flip that script. But underneath that discomfort is the possibility of a different kind of strength. One that isn't built on isolation. And if you're watching this because you love a strong person, there's something you need to hear too. Don't wait for them to break in half before you check on them. Don't assume their silence means they're okay. Strong people rarely collapse in public. By the time you see them crack, they have already been carrying more than they should for a very long time. You can't force them to open up. You can't demand their vulnerability. But you can make their world safer. You can be the one who doesn't only come to them with problems, but also with presence. You can say, "I appreciate everything you do for me, but I also care about how you're really doing." And then prove it by listening without trying to fix them. You can remind them, gently but consistently, that they don't have to earn their place in your life by being useful. That they are allowed to be confused, overwhelmed, human. Sometimes, the most healing thing you can say to a strong person is, "You don't have to be strong here. Not with me." And if they laugh it off, or brush it aside, don't take that as a rejection. It might just mean they don't quite believe you yet. Strong people need evidence, not just words. They need to see that when they show a crack, you don't run, you don't judge, you don't make it about you. You stay. We often say check on your strong friends as a quote on social media. But in reality, checking on them doesn't just mean sending a meme that says, "You good?" It might mean asking a second question after they say, "I'm fine." It might mean noticing when their energy is shifted, when their messages get shorter, when their laugh doesn't quite reach their eyes. Strong people rarely say, "I'm lonely." They'll say, "I'm just tired." over and over. Listen closely to that. Because sometimes I'm tired means, I've been carrying too much for too long and I don't know how to put it down without disappointing someone. If you are the strong one, and you're still here, I want you to imagine something. Imagine a life where you are still respected for your resilience, still trusted for your wisdom, still appreciated for your steadiness, but also allowed to fall apart sometimes. Imagine having one person you can message and say, "Today I don't want to be the strong one," and they don't flinch. They don't say, "Wow, I never thought you'd say that." They simply say, "Okay. Then today I'll be strong with you." That doesn't make you weaker. It makes you real. Your strength is not just in how much you can carry. It's also in how honest you can be about when you've had enough. The hidden loneliness of strong people is not a life sentence. It's a pattern. And patterns can change. Slowly. Awkwardly. Imperfectly. But they can change. You don't have to announce it to the world. You don't have to suddenly become someone who shares everything with everyone. You just have to start with one thing, with one person, one moment of honesty that feels slightly more exposed than you're used to. Maybe that moment is right after this video ends. Maybe you send this to someone and say, "This is how I've been feeling, but I didn't know how to explain it." Maybe you keep it to yourself for now, but you let it plant a seed. A seed that says, being strong doesn't mean being alone. Because here's the truth. The people who look the strongest are often the ones who most deserve a soft place to land. The ones who carry everyone else deserve to be carried sometimes too. And you, if you are that person, deserve more than a life where your value is measured only by how useful you are to others. You deserve friendships where you can be quiet and still feel understood. You deserve relationships where you can be messy and still feel loved. You deserve moments where you can put your armor down and realize that the people who truly care about you don't just admire your strength. They care about your heart. If this spoke to you, if you felt a knot in your throat or a heaviness in your chest at any point, it's probably because some part of you is tired of carrying everything alone. Let that part of you know, it's okay. You are not failing by needing others. You are not failing by feeling lonely. You are not failing by wanting to be seen beyond your strength. You have been strong for a very long time. Maybe the next chapter of your life isn't about proving how strong you are. Maybe it's about discovering how loved you are, even when you're not.